Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to uncover the story in the JFK assassination. As I posted in my other video, an image tells 1,000 words. An image also tells a story. By placing all this information and evidence back in its location, back in the spots, we can uncover this true story of what really took place that day. Now, when we look at my photographic evidence and we watch the videos and we watch the films and images, okay, we look at them, we study them, we know for a fact right now, okay, there was 5 gunmen there that day. This is based on photographic evidence. We know this for a fact now. We know there was Lee Harvey Oswald on 6th floor Texas School Book Depository. We know there was a gunman on the rooftop of the County Records Building. We know there was a gunman on the 2nd floor of the County Records Building. We know there was 2 gunmen inside of shelter number 3. Because we know this for a fact, because we see these, and we got images that shows these gunmen in these locations with rifles, aiming rifles, and firing rifles from these locations. Okay, plus other evidence that backed up as well. We also know there was 13 shots fired that day by photographic evidence. We know the angles of these shots by lining these shots back up to where they originated from. As I pointed out here, okay, information. Okay, we know both shots, number 1, shot number 5, came from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. We know this for a fact because they both came in from the right, exiting out to the left. Shots number 2, 3, 10, and 13, we know these shots came in from the right, going out to the left. Came in from the left, going out to the right, going out to the right. We know that this gunman here took 1 shot to JFK, 1 shot to Governor Connally, plus he also took 2 distraction shots. Now we know here that there was 2 gunmen inside shelter number 3. We know they took 1 shot each, with the fatal headshot to JFK, and then the shot to Governor Connally as he was turning off to his left. And then we have the gunman on the rooftop of the County Records Building. He only took distraction shots that day. Didn't take no other shots, only distraction shots. The shots he took was always on the left side of Elm Street. Okay, so right now at this point, we know there was 5 gunmen, 4 different locations, and 13 shots fired. When we place this information back in its location, like right here, we got 2 gunmen here, 1 gunman here, 1 gunman here, 1 gunman here. We have a total of 5 gunmen, 4 different locations, and we see that they're on the right side of JFK's limo. Now I want to point this out right here. The route was already posted and in the newspaper and stuff, and everybody knew that JFK always sat on the right side of the limo. Very rare he sat on the left side. It's mostly on the right side, especially with the route. You will want the male or JFK on the right side so he can stay right at the very end, just wave at people, because this is where most of the crowd is going to be at, on the right side, not usually on the left side. You'll see when you look at down here, you look at Main Street right here. He comes down Main Street. Where's all the people mostly at? On the right side. They're not going to be on the left side as much, especially when it comes to buildings. Most of the buildings are on the right side. So to place a gunman, you will want them on the right side. Here's the reason why. If you place a gunman in front, anywhere in front, okay, you would have to go through the passenger, driver, Mrs. Connally, and Governor Connally to take any clear shot to JFK or Governor Connally from the front. You place any gunman on the left side here. As you see, it's mostly open up. There's nowhere for a gunman to hide. An assassin is going to make sure he's covered. Not only front view, but back view. Okay, he don't want his back exposed, because if he's caught there, he wants to be able. He's probably going to shoot out with anybody before they take him in. Okay, that's what assassin does. Assassin does not leave his flank open up anywhere. He wants to be covered all the way around. That's why when we look at the locations of these gunmen, they're covered. No matter which way you look at it, they're undercover. Okay, so to post any guy or any assassin on the left side of the vehicle, they would end up shooting the driver, Mrs. Connally, or Mrs. Kennedy before they would even get a clear shot to JFK. So they would have to place a gunman or the assassins on the right side of JFK's limo. So from one point to the end point, and remember, when an assassin wants to make sure he has a pretty good long time period to take his shot, because he wants to be able to have his time to take his aim, time to keep on following, then take his shot. Okay, he's not doing rabbit shooting here. He wants to make sure he gets his thing, and that's why you have backups as well. You got one assassin, two assassin, then you have your backup assassin, then you have your backup assassin for these assassins here. This is the way they laid it out. So you would have place a gunman on the right side of JFK's limo, which they can only have, then there ain't nobody to block JFK now because they're all on the right side. So it's a smart way of placing in different locations apart from one another and being on the right side of the limo. So see, there's a lot of information you could pull and understand what really took place today when you place all this evidence back into it. Okay, just like right here. When we look at this, okay, and we watch the, we put everything back in perspective, back in its location and stuff like that. Remember, the shelter is on a hillside, so they're going to be above JFK's limo. Same thing as the 6th floor Tech School Book Depository, rooftop of the County Records Building, 2nd floor County Records Building. They're going to be above, so they're not going to get strike nobody in the back of the head or anything trying to get to JFK. Okay, so they placed it in different locations. They placed it over here because they knew they would have angles. The gunman here, that he knew he would have angle. If you place a gunman in the Daltex building, now we have the follow-up car, which could get somebody get hurt first or shot first, especially when they know that if someone was standing on the back of even JFK's limo, okay, they would have know that, he has a Secret Service agents there, so they would have him shooting them. So they had to place him on the side, they had to place him high, and place more of a front shot, more of a closer front shot. That's why they picked these locations. If they did it from Daltex building, they would have shot a Secret Service agent before they would have shot Kennedy. So there wouldn't have been nobody in Daltex building. But by placing these gunmen back in their locations and looking overall of the people and everything else, we get more understanding. Now we know. Then we place these shots back in their locations, which we're going to pull up right here. Okay. Now we have the gunman's location. Now we know where these shots occur. We got JFK being shot here, JFK being shot here, Governor Conn being shot here, JFK being shot here, Governor Conn being shot here. And we have a distract shot down here, and then distract shots here, and a distract shots here. So now, and then we place in the order of these shots, and we place a time frame on these shots. So now we get unfold of exactly what happened from this point to this point here, where the last shot was taken. And we know what gunman took these shots because we can see by photographic evidence and by the angles of each one of these shots. Now we can get a story. Okay, here's a story we can pull from it now. As I want to point out before we go into that, is I want to show you something. Did you ever notice anything when you look at this map and you place this location back into it? I paused there for a moment because I want you to take a look at something. As you noticed, when I place these locations, see this big orange circle right here? Okay, these are where most of the distraction shots were taken, and this location here. Okay, this is what I said. This is the information we can pull from it now. Okay, why was the distraction shots mainly in this location here? To get people to run up the hillside there. Because the only cover you're going to get under is behind that picket fence, or behind that brick wall, or up behind a shelter. You're going to get under cover, right? So the best way to get these gunmen out of plain sight without anybody knowing they was there was get people running up. So this is why they concentrate on their distraction shots in this location right here. Because only one slip of a distraction shot came all the way down here, only one. But we look at this location here, we have one shot strike here, one shot strike here, two strikes right here, two strikes right here, 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 distraction shots in this location right here. The first 6 shots struck JFK four times and Governor Connally twice. The first 6 shots. Then we have 6 shots in this location right here. Distraction shots. And only one really missed shot way down here. Because they took these shots because when we study these films and we analyze it, we put it all together, excuse me, the plan was this. Oswald was supposed to take the headshot to JFK, okay? But they seen that JFK was still sitting upright in his limo because they didn't know that JFK had a back brace on, okay? And then when he was shot in the back and the bullet exited his throat, he was still looked like he wasn't shot. So the gunman on the second floor of the county records building was taking aim at the same time as Oswald. So he took his shot to JFK. Now he knew he shot JFK because he knew it was a headshot. He had a clear headshot to JFK. He took the headshot. He goes ahead and takes on the second aim and shoots Governor Conley. Okay, so he stops firing after he shot Governor Conley. He knew he shot JFK, so he takes a second shot to Governor Conley. So he knows his job was done. But he was staying there. He was staying there as a backup because the backup was this. If Oswald didn't take out the assassin, they knew this assassin here would. But with, again, as I point out, with JFK sitting upright and with a back brace on, and Governor Conley still sitting upright, okay, and then after he got shot in the back of the head, we got Mrs. Kennedy starts holding him in place as well. They would think, these two gunmen down here, think that JFK was not hit at the time. He was hit, but he was not a fatal headshot ever occurred. Same thing. So they went ahead and took his shot. This gunman here took his fatal headshot to JFK. At the same time, Oswald already lined up another shot as well. So both of these shots were fired at the same time. The one in the shot from the shelter, since he's close range, okay, when he took his shot, JFK's head exploded because that bullet made contact with this bullet right here from the shot, the first shot to back of JFK's head. And then when JFK's head opened up, Oswald's shot passed through the opening of JFK's head and struck the inside of the windshield. That's when we start seeing a reaction, okay, from them, from the driver and the passenger and stuff. Okay, at that point, this gunman here knew he took the headshot to JFK, but this gunman didn't. That's why there was no communication between any of them, no walkie-talkies, none, because we can also, based on, if this gunman had, if there was walkie-talkie communications, he would have told everybody he took the shot. There wouldn't have been no more shots come from Oswald. There would have been no shots fired from down here. This guy up here was just a backup for these guys right here. Okay, they had a plan where if one of these guys take a shot, this gunman here is to take distraction shots so people can run up the hillside and get lost in the crowd so these two gunmen can get away. This gunman here was also told the same thing. If a shot has to be taken from this location here, you also take a distraction shot as well to get people to run up the hillside so these two gunmen can get away scot-free. Okay, because no one's looking at that county records building. No one's looking at that location because they already picked that location was a good spot for them, especially when they're looking like they're dressed up as police officers. So nobody's going to pay attention to them because they've got a police officer's uniform on. Yeah, they're going to carry rifles around. They're going to carry guns and everything else. So no one's going to pay attention to them. And if anybody spots this gunman on the rooftop of the county record building, they're going to think he's just there as a guard. Okay, so they're not going to pay too much attention to him. The only ones they're going to pay attention to is right here and down here. So these two were his backup. He was the backup for Oswald. If Oswald missed his shots, he was supposed to take JFK out. This gunman up here was only up there for distraction shots only to cover these two gunmen right here. Same as this gunman here. Hey, if they did take a shot, you have to also as well distract people so these guys can get lost as well. So that's why after Governor Conley was shot, after the first shot was taken here, and this is what we said when we base this on time frames and we place everything back in location. When this gunman took his shot, Oswald took his shot at the same time as this gunman here. Okay, so when these shots made contact with JFK, the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building took his shot right along with the second gunman here taking a shot to Governor Conley. So both of these shots here, this shot here and this shot here, was fired at the same time because he seen the shot being fired from the shelter. The shot, fatal headshot, was being fired from the shelter. So his reaction was distraction shots. So he took his shot, and then the gunman right here came around and took his shot at the same time. This is why James Tagg and Governor Connolly said they only heard 2 shots and he was hit by the second shot. Okay. Then after this gunman's seen 2 shots fired from there, and he comes back and takes 2 shots to manhole cover. This guy here takes a shot over here to the steps. They start getting people running up, and people start running around here. Then he follows forward, takes 2 more shots, and he takes another shot here. This gunman here takes the last shot to here. So all these people can start running up the stairway here. So these 2 gunmen can get out and get lost in the crowd and take off. Okay, we could pull the story now. We know exactly what took place. That's why when you point this out and you say, well, the distraction shots, most distraction shots are in this location right here. Why are they so focused on these locations right here? Because they know they're to cover this gunman here. These 2 gunmen here, it has to get away. How are they going to get away? By getting lost in the crowds, by having people run up. That's why they focus in this location here to get people start running up there. That's why they start striking objects in the surroundings, because people can see the bullets striking the air here, going ping and all this other stuff. They're going to say, oh, heck, we're getting out of line of fire here. So they're all going to start, where they're going to run up. They're not going to run this way. They're going to run right up that grassy knoll area there, climbing up behind that fence, behind that brick wall, behind that shelter, and get out of the line of fire and be under cover. And then these gunmen can just slip their rifles back underneath their coats, which they had long coats on them, slide underneath the coats and just walk away with the rest of the people that's running in there. Okay, like I said, you can find out the true story of what took place that day. Okay, he was the main gunman. We have a backup gunman. We have the last chance gunman, which is right here, and then we have the gunman right here to cover him. We got this gunman here to cover him, and we got this gunman also to cover them as well. Excuse me. Bless me. Let me take a drink here. This congestion, this flu is what got me down. But anyway, like I said, when we place this information back into its location, we can actually come up with a true story of what actually took place that day, right here. JFK's limo turns down Houston Street. Then he takes a turn and comes down on Elm Street. Oswald takes the first shot. Struck JFK in the back, exited his throat, struck the chrome in the windshield. With JFK still standing up, this gunman here, which is the backup gunman, decides to take his shot, struck JFK in the back of the head. Then he takes a shot to Governor Connolly, right here. So he stops firing. Oswald's still aiming, and then this guy here in shelter number 3 start aiming at the same time. Then Oswald and this guy here in shelter number 3 take their shots at the same time. First shot strikes JFK in the back of the head, in the side of the head. JFK's head exploded in the back, and then the second shot struck JFK in the back of the head. Bullet exited his head because of the opening and struck the inside of the windshield. Then this gunman up here start taking aim and taking a shot, and this gunman here comes around and starts taking a shot to Governor Connolly, and this guy's taking a shot to the curb at the same time. Then he backtracks and takes 2 shots to the manhole cover. This gunman here seeing the shot, 2 shots being fired from the shelter, so he decides to start taking his distraction shots and hits one on the steps. Then after he takes the one of the steps, the gunman on the rooftop of the county record building takes 2 shots to the grass area. Then the gunman on the second floor of the county record building takes his last shot and hits the sign on the lamppost that's right here. This is why most distraction shots are taking this location, because now we have people run up the hillside. And once they start seeing people run up the hillside there, they stop taking their shots, and then they start going away. Because after Oswald took his second shot, he went ahead, placed the rifle back in his box, and starts walking now over to the elevator, taking the elevator down the second floor to the lunchroom, gets out, walks through the door, and goes right in front of the Coke machine. These 2 gunmen here, now they have an exit, because after they get done taking their shots, they slide the rifles back underneath their coats, and then walk down the steps and starts walking in with the crowds that's running behind the shelter and behind the picket fence and everything else, because they're all running to get out of cover of the shots being fired. So now they can exit it without anybody knowing, because they're already dressed up as cops, and no one's going to pay attention to a cop, especially with a rifle, because even if they walk outside with the rifles in hands, okay, people's going to think, well, they're out to hunt for the guy who was doing the assassin was right here. Okay. Now they probably had somebody on the ground level as well to point up to the 6th floor, so they'd be looking over there because someone has to be down here ground level. Okay. Not only would you have these guys here, the assassin stuff, but it had to be somebody at ground level to get somebody's attention away from this location here, to pinpoint the 6th floor textbook book depository, so they can get up there and look around and find a decoy rifle and see the rifle's registered a Heidel, and he took the stairwell there by the way it was set up. So they would actually have to have somebody as a decoy down here to say, I seen a gunman up there on the 6th floor textbook book depository. So while everybody's up here, these gunmen have a better chance also to get away, and these two gunmen here can blend in and everything else as well. So see, it was very well planned on what really took place that day. A lot of people think, oh, well, you know, this or that, this and that. But see, when we place this information back in there, we can get a full story now. We can understand a lot more of what took place that day by photographic evidence, okay, and by the evidence that I've collected. As you see in my videos, I covered all 13 shots. Placing this information back in there, we know the gunman was on the right side of JFK's limo, which is a proper way to put a location. We know this gunman here was the distraction shooter. This gunman here was the backup gunman right here. We know he was taking shots. We took 2 distract shots to get people to run up the hillside as well, so these two gunmen could get away. We know Oswald took 2 shots from that location. We also have a decoy man that's sitting down here to point people up here, so when they come around here, because actually if you look at it, this window here where you see my cursor is where number 2 is, that's where they found the rifle, right here. That decoy rifle they found right here. Because this is the window right next to, let me pull this up, right, we'll go to this right here. Okay, this window right here is right here. This is a stairwell right here. If you watch my cursor, this is a stairwell. Okay, that's on this side of the building right here. We're going to shrink this a little bit. We're going to zoom in right here. Okay, we're going to move this over here. This location here where they found the decoy rifle and the clip for the rifle is right in this front, in this window right here, because this window here is this window right here. Okay, when we're doing research. So when we study this, I'm going to say, well, there's a decoy man down here saying, hey, look up here. This is where the gunman was at. They're going to rush up that stairwell there, and what's the first thing they're going to hit? The clip, the rifle, when they run up them steps. So they're going to say, well, the gunman must run down these steps here. And then when they follow the trail back to who the rifle's registered under, they're going to say it's under a Heidel. So they're going to look for a man of a Heidel. So, like I said, we can get a lot of information pointing us. So we know there's more people there that day. We know there was more people behind assassination. Like I said, okay, let me pull this back up. We know there was 13 shots fired that day. We know there was 5 gunmen there that day. We know the location of these gunmen. We know the shots they took. But we also now know that there had to been a man right down here on a corner of Elm and Houston that had to let everybody know and point them up to the 6th floor textbook book depository so they can get run up there so they can find a decoy rifle. And when they're up there in that location, look for the rifle and everything else. This gives plenty of time for these gunmen to get more away. And these gunmen right here get more away by police officers walking around and stuff. They can get away as well. Okay. And then Oswald, as we know, he left work that day, so basically got him a chance to get away. But the only reason why they followed him, to be honest with you, they weren't paying attention because they know that Oswald was at work that day, and the only reason why they picked on Oswald is because they couldn't find Oswald. Okay, that's the reason why they went ahead and started doing their search for Oswald, because he was the only one that wasn't left at work that day. He was the only one that took off. So this is what pinpointed, well, where was he at the time? Well, he was on the 6th floor. Okay, so they found a rifle up on the 6th floor. Okay, this is why they looked for Oswald, and people was looking for Oswald because they wouldn't look for these 2 gunmen here because they didn't know nothing about them, or these gunmen up here because they didn't know nothing about them. Because of the incidents, when we follow this through and we look at this, we're going to see, well, Oswald was at work that day. Everybody knew he was there, but he left. They couldn't find him. Okay, he was working on the 6th floor. That's where they found the rifle at. Okay, and then when they picked up Oswald, they found out the fake ID says A. Heidel on it. So they had pinpoint right there of who bought that rifle. Okay, so like I said, when you place all this information back in, now we know the story. They came down. We know this gunman was the backup gunman for Oswald. We know this gunman here was the cover of the gunman that was inside the shelter. Same as him. He was also to cover the gunman inside the shelter in case they get caught. In case the shot had been fired from there. We place the location of the shots back in their locations. We get more details. We know that most of the distraction shots are taken in this location here, besides one way down here. But most of the distraction shots are taken in this location here to get people running up. So see, when we put this information back in there, we get a full story now. Now we understand. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Like I said, I'm going to make more videos here soon. I just want to make this video here for summary for after the 13 shots and stuff, so you get more perspective on what really took place that day. There was a man on the street corner there. He was decoy man to have people sit up there and look up at the 6th floor Tech School Book Depository so all these other gunmen could go away. We had the backup assassins that took distraction shots to cover the other 2 gunmen that was inside of shelter number 3. When you put all this information back in there, you can find all this information a lot more in my books, Evidence of Conspiracy, which in the description down below, I'm going to leave a link where you can buy that book. It's on paperback and Kindle. And you'll get more of the story, and you get a lot more behind the scenes of what took place there that day. You get a lot more of that builds up to that day of the assassination as well in my book. Thank you. Have a pleasant day. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget the subscribe button. Don't forget to tell your friends about this. Share this video. Thank you and have a pleasant day.